Hey guys, thanks for watching our FAQ overview. And first off, we just wanted to say thanks for first watching our webinar where you got a thumbnail sketch of our online business model. And of course, by now, you're at a point where you're trying to get most of your questions answered and you're really trying to discover whether or not this is a good fit for you or not. So we're going to go and guys dive right in. This is a very straightforward presentation. So we're going to go and give you a quick summary because some people that are watching this, you might have just finished the webinar or you might have finished the webinar a couple weeks ago. And so we just want to make sure we're all on the same page, and we're going to reiterate a little bit about what you already discovered on the webinar itself, but we're going to go and dive right in and just give you a quick summary. So everything that we show you on this slide, guys, we are going to actually give you a visual of it, okay? So just to recap, our products are e-learning products. Another way of saying that is it's online educational training courses that focus mostly on business development, okay? And we'll actually show you some examples of that. They're really in demand. You're going to actually see how you can get a lot of value from that. If you want to actually be a user of our products, that's really up to you. Okay, now remember, this is primarily a business overview. So the goal here is really to show you how you can actually make money with our system and our business model. Whether or not you decide to dive deep into the products is really up to you, but we are going to give you an overview of that. Also, we talked about on the webinar that we have an automated marketing system with a done-for-you platform. Okay, so we're going to get more in details about this, and we're going to show you what it means to have a done-for-you solution versus what it means for you to be active. But in a nutshell, what it means is that we have a done-for-you lead generation solution to where you just pay for leads once a week or once a month, and your leads get sent to your website. So obviously, the lead generation worked or you wouldn't actually be here. Now, the really cool thing about this is that we have a process and a solution in place where you actually don't have to call anybody if you don't want to. So what that means is we have an automated system that invites everybody to our site. Maybe you got a call from someone to get to the site. Most people do not get a phone call or an invitation from an actual person. It's maybe you got an email, maybe you got a text, maybe you got a voicemail, and all that automation is pushing people to our presentation. And what you'll discover a little bit later is that you don't have to know how to set all that stuff up. You don't have to even know how it all works. We're the mechanics. We set it all up for you, okay? You also don't have to close any sales. Again, you don't have to talk to anyone if you don't want to, the way our system is set up. Coaches close sales, and Elena, I know we've talked about this before, but you have to be a seven-figure earner, right, to actually be.
Yeah, you got to be bona fide, you got to be qualified to be able to and handpicked, right, to be able to provide the service that we provide for our members. So yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Absolutely. Also, guys, we will cover in depth the funding that's available. So sometimes people watch our presentations. We've heard every single situation, every single life story, and basically not everyone has money to get started. I know years ago I didn't, so we're going to cover how to use OPM, other people's money. We have a funding solution available for qualified individuals, which usually means that your credit score is 650 or higher. You can go down as low as 630. We'll talk about that. You just got to have really high income. But if you got a 650 or higher, then we can get you the funds most of the time that you need, okay? And that's exactly how I got started. Also in the webinar, they talked about how you work from $1,500 to up to $15,750. So when you look at that number as an entrepreneur, you should be looking at that, realizing, wow, it doesn't take a whole lot of sales to create a lot of freedom in my life every single month, and especially when I have this done-for-you lead generation solution. Again, no calling required if I don't want to, no closing required. So yeah, you make $1,500 to $15,750. We'll dive into that a little bit more. And if anyone's watching a presentation where you're learning about an online business, one of the biggest questions, at least I would have if I was you, is, how much do you have to spend in advertising to make a sale? You got to be able to spend some money in marketing. So we talk about how our average cost per conversion is $1,000 to $1,500. Average sale is worth about 10 grand. Sometimes that number fluctuates between 10 and 12 grand, right? What you would say. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like if you're getting, let's just say 50%, to keep it simple, and which we talk about here in a moment. It's like having a system that spits out, $5 for every $1 to $1.50 that you put into it. So we can show you how to put in $1 or $1.50, and out the other end, right, comes $5. Would you do it? Of course you would. And it really wouldn't be a matter of how much is it going to cost me. At that point, it's a matter of how much can I spend, right? And so that's what we're putting in your pocket, guys. We're giving you a vehicle to create wealth, and that wealth is going to create more freedom in your life. We're passionate about being able to help people like-minded people who want to break free, help them experience that freedom. And we found that the best way to do that is to give them access to our business, which is really kind of like a franchise in the sense that we have a system in place. It's a lot of it's done for you. You don't have to figure that part out. You just plug into it. It works over on one corner in town. It works in the other. Okay, that's kind of how this works. So we'll get a little bit more into this in just a second. So, you might be asking, why did we actually create this system? You've actually been in this business model longer than me. You're actually my original coach, and I saw you years ago. And at that time, I was broke. I wasn't making any money online. And the reason I was not successful, right, is because I didn't have this system that we have. So why don't you talk to the folks about why we even created this system?
Well, at this point, we have literally trained and pulled thousands of members that have joined us. And we really found that about 90% of the people at the end of the day, they're not looking necessarily for a secondary job or a business, but what they want is a financial solution to their stress, right? And just about everybody we ask, statistically speaking, 70% of people's stress is usually tied to their finances, right? Money controls pretty much almost every aspect of our lives. And at the end of the day, you have to do something to create that income. But people really just want the results, right? They just want to be able to have a system that can create monthly cash flow. And if they can do that without necessarily putting in, or do that by putting in as minimal, time effort as possible, that is obviously attractive to the right person, right? So this system was really born out of just polling and training thousands of people that frankly wanted something 100% passive, meaning that, most people, they don't have the time, they don't have the skills, or they don't really have a true desire to really put in the effort, right, and take the time to learn and generate the skills that it really takes to have online success. But it took us a long time and a lot of money to be able to figure out what we know today. And we've been able to generate a system now that anybody can come in, regardless of who you are or where you're at in your life or what you've done in the past. You can come here and get results and actually get paid and have a monthly cash flow for you and your family without putting in any time investment. And yes, that may sound, too good to be true. You may be jaded, you may be skeptical, but we're going to open up your eyes. We're going to be very objective. We're going to be very transparent. And you can absolutely have more time freedom and more financial freedom in your life. And we want to show you that is a real possibility if you're serious about, making that happen.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And when people look at our business model, sometimes they think, well, I've never not worked for my money. I want to be involved somehow. So, I know a little bit later we're going to talk right about how if you're the person that wants to be hands-on and you want to learn, it's not like we're not willing to teach people, right?
Yeah, just keep in mind that this is not, 100% designed for everybody that wants to be passive. That's what 90% of the people want, right? But if you want to be active, you want to be proactive, and you want to be, actually engaged in your business, we will absolutely train you, right, from scratch, regardless of whatever you do or whatever you have done.
We're going to go ahead and dive in and just give you all an inside look. This is actually a slide you saw earlier, but we want to actually show you what we're talking about. So we said that our products are e-learning. So I'm actually going to show you all an example, several examples of what our products are. Before I do, though, I want to make a quick disclaimer, and that disclaimer is we have people from all walks of life that are watching this presentation. So some people are like, in their 20s and 30s, they're super techie, and they're learning all the Instagram stuff and the Facebook ad stuff. And so, for them, like, they understand a lot of these products. And other people we talk to, like one of our successful members, Dan, he drives trucks for a living. He doesn't even barely have a computer. He never has it with him when he drives. Doesn't even really know how to make a video on his phone, okay? And so is he going to dive into our products, and does he have to understand our products or be a product of the product to do the business? Of course not. It's kind of like, you could be a vegetarian and own a McDonald's. Yeah, you could actually own, guys, a McDonald's and yet be a vegetarian. So we just want you to understand that there is a huge market for these products, and you get to decide as you become a member in our business here, you get to decide how deep you want to dive into the products, how much of a product you want. I can tell you that we've become a product of the products, right? We've learned and earned and gained the skill set that we have. And we just happen to be opening our system and process to you, okay? But we created that, right? So we've earned those skill sets, and so hopefully that makes sense.
Makes total sense. Although McDonald's does sell salads, but
That's true. Okay, I got to remember that.
That's a joke there.
So
Anyway.
I'm just going to scroll through some of this, guys, and show y'all. You actually have a back office that you get to log into. You'll get your own username and password, and you can actually download these products, okay? So it's not like one day they'll just be taken from me or anything like that. You can literally download every single one of them, okay? Now, you'll notice at the top, we have the gold package here. So as I scroll through, you're going to actually see, how many products you have with the gold package before we get to the next, which is here, the $7,000 platinum package. So of course, if you buy the 7,000, you get all the stuff in the gold, and then you get all the products in the 7,000. So you actually, guys, I'm going to show y'all where you can actually, there's actually a link. You can actually review this. So everything that you see here, you can actually go through it. So you'll see here, this one, for example, is discover how to build productive habits and use time management tools to easily keep track of your schedule and to get things done today. And so you actually see like some of the time management stuff that's covered in this product, okay? So again, some of it's mindset, productivity, and other stuff is actual like lead generation, closing of sales, etc. I can tell you guys, I spend several hours every single morning just working on my mindset, right? Just self-development. So I'm a huge product of this, right? So you'll see here, again, discover how to effectively manage your time and your day starting today. Then you'll see here's video marketing. So we can open this up here, how to upload your video to a site, how to do it to multiple sites, how to embed your video on your website or blog, tracking of statistics, etc. Okay. So again, some people, they're like, oh yeah, Matt, I understand all that. I do all that. And other people, it's like, oh, I don't, you just said the word tracking and uploading and, I can't do that kind of stuff. We're just telling you guys, there is a gigantic market. The cool part is with our products, you get the resale rights to our products. So you get to actually legally sell our products as if you created them yourself. Okay. Here's a product that goes over how to build a list. Okay. And basically the ability to build a list is gigantically profitable. And some lists can be, a physical address, right? A mailing list. Others could be a phone list, right? To do text message marketing. Others could be an email list, right? So you kind of get the idea. And the bigger you get those lists, the more money you make, right? So like with our list, we actually can calculate based on our list growing, how much we can make per month just based off the size of our list. Okay, so it's pretty phenomenal, guys, when you learn how to actually build that list.
Just keep in mind, if you're watching this, this video here, keep in mind that, part of your investment is that you get access, via, you get a password and a username, right? So you have access to a digital library, right? So this is a digital library that you have access through your back office, right? You can download all these courses at your leisure, and you can learn as you go if you want to learn. If you don't want to learn, you don't have to. So I don't want you to think that, oh gosh, I got to learn all this stuff. No, you don't have to learn anything if you don't want to learn anything, but this is part of your package, right? So you're getting access to the digital educational library. You're getting the resale rights to the library, right? So you can resell the library, right? So when you buy a franchise, you're buying the franchising rights to be able to sell those products, right? Whether it be a Subway sandwich or McDonald's hamburger, right? Or any kind of franchise for that matter. But you do get those resale rights. And then you're going to get the service. You're going to get access to our proprietary marketing system, which we're going to get into. But you're also buying into the service. So just keep in mind that you're getting a package deal. But these are courses that you can take at your leisure if you want to learn, especially if you're an existing entrepreneur or you're a business owner, or maybe you're an aspiring entrepreneur because you have a particular product or a service or an idea that you want to launch. But you don't really know how to do that, but you want to learn and gain the skill sets, and this library will help you get closer to whatever you're trying to achieve. Because again, some people want to learn, some people don't want to learn, but regardless, that is part of your investment.
What you're saying is that you don't actually have to go through these products and gain a skill set in order to make money with our business. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And guys, that's key, because there's all kinds of like online marketing, companies and gurus and trainings. And basically what they're going to convince you is, hey, all you have to do is spend, $2,000, $1,500, $10,000, whatever, and go through my training course. And then you can actually learn how to, make money online. And some of that stuff's great. Some of it's not. I can tell you, I've invested in myself over It was over $13,000 to learn Facebook ads from a couple experts, and it was a great investment, right? But I also had the patience and the time, and it took a lot of learning curves and a lot of frustration and stuff, but it was a skill set that was highly worth it. And because I became a product of that product, I've been able to create money on demand running Facebook ads. Okay, so maybe you're watching this, maybe you came from Facebook, and that's just an example. So we wanted to show you this. We will show you in just a little while how you can get access to this page. If for whatever reason you want to dive into it a little bit more, it is there for your reference. So that is the e-learning products. Again, as Orlando mentioned, you'll have access to log in. We don't actually like ship these products to you in the mail. It's completely web-based, and you get access there in our members portal. Okay. Now, we also have our automated marketing system with our done-for-you platform, and we're actually going to dive into that so you can actually understand, guys, how we have the done-for-you lead generation, how there's no calling that's required. It's not a lot, but some people want to actually call their leads. Again, if you want to do that, more power to you. We'll definitely train you how to do that, and there is no closing required. So I'm going to actually show you the automated marketing system if y'all want to see that. And this is what most people want to see. They want to understand, okay, when I get started, I understand that I have these products. I understand that I get to decide, if I want to be a product of the product or not, but at least I have a business in a box, and I have the legal right to be able to sell those products, because if you don't, well, you got to have a product to sell, right? Or there's going to be no transaction. Okay. So once you understand that, the next question is, okay, how do I promote it? How do I educate people? Well, since we're not walking around town, we're not doing sales pitches in person or anything like that. What we do is we have vendors or marketing agencies, and what they do is they are the experts. They're the ones that generate all the leads for our members, so that you don't have to go through that painful learning process of trying to figure that out before you can actually make some money, right? I think that's working backwards. So what they do, they generate all the leads. You pick up the phone, you call them. We have different ones. Sometimes, you can go to a website and place your order there with some of the vendors. They generate the leads. And so you might remember seeing a website that looked like this. Maybe you didn't. I know a lot of people don't remember, how they actually came through. That's advertising for you. But that's what happens. So there's a cost to get someone to come to your website that we create for you. Okay, so when you get started, we actually give you guys a copy of the marketing system that is converting like crazy. Okay, when I say converting like crazy, I'm talking about being able to generate, or I know I generate either high multiple 5 figures to 6 figures plus every single month. Okay, so you're getting access to that. And the cool part is you don't have to figure out how I'm going to generate leads. What type of leads do I need to get to my website? How do I build the website? How do I create a good catching headline and a subheadline? All that stuff is done for you. So Orlando, why don't we just go ahead and dive right in and show them. Let's do Matt test.
So if you're watching this, at some point you would have landed on this landing page and put in your name, number, and email. So if you did this recently, you probably remember. If you did it weeks or months ago, you may not remember. But this page converts very, very high. So you'll get a replicated page just like the one you're seeing here in front of you.
Right. And what happens when you actually put in the information, I'm just putting in bogus information, guys, to show you the demo here. But when you put in the information, you click submit, it's going to actually take you over to your coach's bio page. Okay, so there's multiple coaches, and your system looks just like ours. Because you don't have a success story just yet, you don't have interviews that you've helped, your members make sales. Guess what? You get to piggyback off of our system, right? And guys, that's the best way to get results, right? See what someone else is doing that's working and just copy what they're doing, right? So you're going to get access. Now, when someone puts in their name, number, and email into your site, it adds them to your email follow-up system that we've already created for you and we set up for you and link it all up. There's a process called onboarding where we'll talk about a little bit later, where all that stuff gets done for you. You also get added to your text message drip campaign or your follow-up campaign as well. And the purpose of those campaigns, guys, they go out for weeks and weeks, right? The purpose is just to continue to educate your prospects. You probably guys remember getting an email automatically and getting a text message. You might have gotten a lot, right? And the purpose of that is, again, just to educate you, share with you success stories and so forth of our students and members. This is called a bio page. Another way, guys, in marketing, you can call this like an authority page, where basically, people can connect with you digitally via pictures, videos, etc., and kind of learn about you, right? You'll see some of our members' success stories here. Maybe you've watched some of these. Whenever I talk to people, they sometimes say, I've watched every one of those testimonials, right? So guys, we recommend like dig into them. And the purpose of that is just to build confidence and get you to engage with the information. Now, ultimately, you have to click this button, right? Your prospects will be guided to click this button. It's really hard to miss. And that's going to take them over to the webinar where they're going to learn about the business model and the products. And so when they click that button, they get redirected right here and you'll see the webinar, okay? Now, you'll see that the webinar is pretty straightforward, okay? It's usually only about, it's about 30 minutes or less. And the purpose of that is really just to be straight to the point, lay out the numbers, lay out what the products are, and then get you to hit the ball back to us and say, hey, based on what I've seen, yeah, I got some questions, but I'm at least interested, right? Let me go to the next step. And so the next step usually to get to the point where you're at is to watch the FAQ video like you're doing right now, is to either call in a Success Coach hotline, maybe you did that, or maybe you filled out a mini little application to get to this page. Either way, both work, and we use both from time to time. And ultimately, the purpose of that is obviously to continue to educate your prospects. And remember, guys, you're watching this frequently asked questions video right now. You could be a prospect directly, or you could be one of our business partners. You could be their prospect. You'll never know. You might not ever even talk to them if they're not actively building their business. They're just running traffic. You came to the site automatically. You're engaging with the information. And if you're actually finding yourself do that right now, what makes you think that that would not work for you, right? I mean, think about that. I mean, guys, there's hundreds, thousands of people each day that are looking at our content, right? And building a relationship with us and taking action, getting their questions answered. So I wish I had access to this years ago when I first started out on my journey in my early 20s, because I didn't have a coach, I didn't have a mentor, and I never was plugged into a process that truly worked. It was always just up to me, like, to go sell your products to people you know. I mean, that was how it had to be.
Yeah, well, one of the questions that I get, and you may be thinking this, right? We don't get this question a lot, but it's true. Sometimes I'll get asked, if you guys do from everything from A to Z, then why do you need me, right? What do I do? Well, again, we don't really need you. This is a service that we provide for people who want the service. So when I got started, everybody that came in through the business, we had to train them, right? There was a training system put in place because you had to learn the skill sets that it takes to have success, which means you got to get comfortable talking to strangers. I mean, we have scripts. We used to do, we had scripts before we had live training calls. We used to go to live events. That's why you saw the pictures earlier in front of the stage. So we used to spend hours and hours and hours a week training our members. And that was fine and dandy. That's just the way it was set up. Now, we love this model because we spend very little time on training, because usually 1 out of 10 people say, look, I want to be active. I want to be more proactive. But the most people are not salespeople. They don't like to talk to strangers. They don't want to feel like they're selling stuff to people. It's just not in their nature, right? We get that, okay? That's why we provided this service for the people who want it, right? Because if you want us to obviously do the work on your behalf, we're willing to do that, because we're either going to get 25% or 50%, right? So it makes total sense for us to do that, and we don't have to spend the time to train you. So we prefer this model this way, but it really depends on what your preference is. So it's a win-win situation. People love it, and we have 4 packages, right? So you got the gold package at $3,000. We have the admin fee, that's the administrative fee, which is really your licensing fee. So this is what gives you the actual legal resale rights to be able to resell, this information. Because again, you're getting set up as an affiliate, right? But you're a silent partner with us, and we're willing to split the commissions 50-50, right? Or 75-25. So if we make a $3,000 sale on your behalf, you'll make $1,500, right? And then we got the platinum package at $7,000 with the $447 admin fee, and then you make $3,500, right? So you're getting 50%, right? As you can see. And then the next level is diamond, which is $14,000. The admin fee is $647, right? You make 50% of that, which is $7,000. And then we have our top level, which is $21,000, right? $847. And you make up to $10,500. So
just a quick clarification for anyone that's asking. So what that means, guys, is that if you start as a customer with the gold package, you own that license. So think of it like as a percentage of the library. If you have the royal package, you own 100%. If you have the gold package, you have a very small percent. And so if you start at gold, then you only can make up to $1,500 per sale. So that means you make $1,500 if we close a gold sale for you, but you also make $1,500 if we close a royal sale for you, because you only own a small percentage of the license. Okay, so obviously, if someone starts at 21, which is the royal, then they're going to be able to earn much more per sale. And we have here on the slide that you make up to $10,500 per sale when you start at the world, but we actually have a bonus, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about that really quick for y'all so you can kind of understand. There is a bonus. Make sure, guys, you pay attention here, because these are very serious and real bonuses, and we want you to make sure that you at least understand how to lock that in. So if you start at the 7,000, you're going to get a free bonus or upgrade to the 14,000. If you start at the 14,000, you're going to get a bonus to the 21. So you can see that this is constantly saving you $7,000, which you can upgrade later if you want to, but this is obviously giving you a free upgrade, free bonus. Now, if you start at the 21,000, because by now, maybe some people have wondered, well, Matt or Elena, why would someone pay y'all 21,000, guys? You'd be surprised. Okay, we receive a lot of payments for 21,000. And one of the reasons is that people want to own 100% of the library, right? And the other reason is they want to be able to increase their earning potential and not only make commissions on all the product packages sold, but if you start at the 21,000, you earn 75% on all your sales that we close for you, okay, which is huge. So just guys wanted to make you all a little image here. Some people want to know, where do most people start? Okay, so as you can see here, 10% usually would start at the gold, which is $3,000. Then you'll see at the 7K, 40% start there, okay? A lot of times, just because not everybody has access to the funds to be able to start at 14 or 21, most people, if they're going to go all in and just make this happen with us, most people, if they can start at 14 or 21, obviously they want to, because they want to increase their earning potential for sure, especially if they're gung-ho about making a lot of money with the business, right? But not everyone can actually secure those funds, so 40% start at 7K. Then we have 30% over at the diamond at 14,000, and then 20% at 21,000. Okay. So Orlando, I don't know if you really have any comments on that. Just wanted to run through that, just kind of show people, usually our average sales and where they're at.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? There's two types of people, right? The kind of person that has the funds to come in at the top, right? They either have the cash or they have a 650 or preferably a 680 plus FICO credit score, and the person that does not, right? And the person that does obviously has the resources, right, to really maximize the compensation plan. So when I looked at this model, this is going back 4.5 years, and I didn't have anything like you guys have now. I mean, this thing was like, in the dinosaur ages, it was very archaic, right, compared to what we have now. And there was certainly nobody that was going to close my sales. Although my coach, Jeff, at the time, I set up the appointments. He did close the sales, but it wasn't something that was recurring, right? So you can literally have this business month after month, year after year. You have to keep in mind that we live and breathe these numbers, and we run our analytics, right? And we know our numbers. So if you know that 90% of the people that come into this business are going to come in at the platinum level or higher. Again, the platinum level is $7,000. That's 90% that come in at level 2 or higher, because remember, there's 4 levels. Then why would you want to start at the 3K level? Unless, of course, that is where you're comfortable at, which we understand, or maybe your financial resources don't allow you to come in at a higher level, which we obviously understand. But if you have the financial means of coming at a higher level, there's a 90% chance all of your sales are going to be at 7K or higher. So you have to respect the numbers, right? It's a numbers game. Maybe you've heard this before. If you're in sales and marketing, okay, you probably know this. Okay, this is a universal economic principle called the law of averages. And this is about I'm not going to say the only thing, but this is the most powerful concept that I learned when I took macro and microeconomics back in my college days, because these are universal laws that apply to any economy in any country, right? And it's, if you never heard of this, it's basically the use of mathematics to increase a certain type of action that should lead to a great chance of a particular outcome, right? And if you don't know what that means, that's fine. It just means that if you flip a coin, right, you're bound to get heads and you're bound to get tails, right? Even if you get heads 7 times, right? If it rains for 17 days, well, the sun is going to come out. Eventually, the sun's going to come out, right? And we know our numbers, right? We're going to dig into our numbers. But basically, it's the idea that something is sure to happen at some time because of the number of times it generally happens or is expected to happen, okay? So it just means that the more often you do it, the probability will fall on either side of the coin, okay? And in our business, that means that some people will join and some people won't join, okay? And we're going to go into those numbers, right?
You know, we sometimes say that 99 people out of 100 could tell us no, right? And we're still, you know, making a lot of money here, you know, like a lot, right? And that's how our numbers are dictated. So, you know, someone might be watching this presentation and you might still be a little skeptical and a little like, geez, you know, like, do you guys really find people that can afford to come into a business like this or willing to? And the answer is every single day. And the reason why, guys, is because we have a lot of people every single day getting exposed to this. And so, you know, you might be one of the 99 that just thinks, you know, it can't happen. It's, you know, I'm just too afraid of risk or it's too good to be true. There's going to be one person all the time, at least, that says, you know what, I've seen too many of these testimonials. I know it's a numbers game. I see what these guys are offering. I want to get my piece, right? I want to get a part of that. And so, you know, once you understand the numbers, you really can, guys, project your income. I mean, every single day, we know how many leads are coming through our system. Every single week, I get a little report together and I can see, okay, this week we generated 500 or 1,000 or beyond leads. And so, guys, we kind of know roughly how many sales we're going to close from those numbers and what our income on average will end up being. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about those numbers. For you guys who are super analytical, you're going to love this. For other people, it might kind of go over your head, but guys, just respect the fact that this is necessary. We want you to understand this so you can obviously be confident in your decisions. So as I said, you can project your income. So why don't you go and talk about, you know, the average cost per sale and what people can expect?
Yeah, so this is the part that I love, right? Because you can, like as Matt said, you can truly project your income, right? Once you know your conversion ratios, you really can, okay? And you do that by literally working backwards and figuring out what the average cost per sale is, right? So, you know, we're going to throw some jargon at you, right? But this is basically the amount of money or advertising that you spend in order to generate a buyer, right? Or get somebody to actually join this business. So we know, and these are numbers that we literally live and breathe every single day, that our average cost per sale or cost per acquisition, right? There's different ways to refer to that terminology, is anywhere between $750 to about $1,500, and it's going to range. So the average is going to be right around $1,000, and that's because, you know, with $1,000, you're going to generate about 100 to 150 opt-ins, right? Opt-ins is somebody who opted in, like yourself, at some point. They put in their name, number, and email address on that landing page, right? And they said, okay, you know what? I want to find out about what these two guys are doing and what this business is about. So whether they're serious or curious, they actually became a website visitor. So that's what a lead is. A lead is a website visitor, and we know that at least 1 to 2% are going to join, which means that if you're spending about $1,000, let's just say $1,500 on the high end, it's going to generate 1 sale at least, maybe 2, maybe 3 sales. And this is just based on the law of averages, okay? It's virtually impossible to generate 100, 150 leads and not make a single sale, because if it's making sense to you right now, right, as you're watching this video, and it just makes rational sense, it makes mathematical sense, do you think it's going to make sense to somebody else? Well, of course it is, right? Do you think if we put it in front of 100 people, will we find, you know, one person that says, okay, you know what, this makes sense? Well, if you don't like those numbers, you know, generate 200, 300 leads, and even if you just convert 1/3 of 1%, you can still be successful here, right? The numbers are in your favor, right? So that's the first number you really need to know, because that is literally how you're going to work backwards to be able to project your income. The second factor you need to know is your average revenue per sale, okay? And this is basically the number that we know based on the amount of people that come in divided by the amount of money we collect, right? Because, you know, the cost is the amount of money we spend versus the amount of people we bring in, and the revenue is the opposite, right? The actual investment levels based on the percentages that we showed you earlier there on that pie chart. So that number is, again, these are not exact numbers, right? There's a fluctuate, it fluctuates, but it's going to range between 10 to 12,000. And that's, if you're earning anywhere between 50 to 75%, your average sale is going to be worth about $5,000 to $9,000. Okay. 9,000 obviously is going to be for the people that come in at the top or upgrade to the top to earn 75%, because, 25% of 21,000 is over $5,000. I mean, that's a big difference. So over the course, in your business, you're going to discover that on a per sale basis, you're making about 300 to 500%. I mean, that's incredible ROI. There's people that don't see that kind of ROI yearly, even over the next 5 years, even with a traditional investment. So it's like having a machine, right? It's like having a dispensing machine where you're putting $1, $1.50, and you're getting $5 back or $9 back, okay? Mm-hmm. Right? And we're the ones that are pulling the levers. Obviously, I'm using words that are metaphoric, right? But what I'm saying is that we're the ones that are doing the work, using your marketing budget to generate the results, and the people that are coming in obviously are getting the exact replicated system that we're generating for all of our members.
So of course, guys, the total cost, right? We already covered this, but you have to be able to pay the administration fee, okay? And then you have to actually pay your product package purchase. And then you have your marketing expenses. So, I mean, usually in a nutshell, what people are looking for is $5K on the low end, okay? That's on the low end, to around $25K on the high end, okay? That's kind of what you're looking at. That includes the admin fee that you have. That also includes your marketing budget and so forth. Those are kind of the rough numbers. And some people, they have cash just laying around and they can get started. Maybe they have extra money in the savings account that's not building them wealth. Some people have open lines of credit that they're using. I talked to one lady that she had like $30-something thousand just available on her credit cards. That's just not doing anything for her. And so she decided to put it to work and put it into this business. From time to time, we have members who have a 401k that they've been building over the years, and they're looking at their yearly percentage earnings on that, interest earnings, and they just decide, I like to have a 401k. I'm trying to prepare for retirement, but based on where this thing's at, it's not going to be enough by the time I retire. And so I'd rather utilize it, right, into something that can create more wealth a lot faster. And so some people, take out some money off their 401k or put a loan against it. We've had people sell stuff, guys. We've seen everything under the sun. Okay, we've seen everything under the sun. I mean, we had someone sell a motorcycle because it's like, hey, I have 2 motorcycles. One of them I'm not really using all the time, and I got to get in this, right? Because I can buy a lot more motorcycles later, right? I just got a notification. I turned on my phone. I've had it in airplane mode, but I just turned it on, and since we've been recording this presentation, we had a $21,000 sale roll right in from
that's Shalice?
Yeah, from Shalice. I just want to show you proof for those who might have thought, I don't know if that was real or not. So here's the deal. We're actually recording this. It's November 7th. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page here, 5:27 p.m. So I'm going to actually hop into my email. I haven't even opened the email. I told you that I got a notification on my phone. So I'm just going to open my email here. I'm going to blur out some of the emails here just for privacy purposes, but the ones that I want to show you, you'll see here QuickBooks payments, which is what we process the payment through. Payment received, there's the invoice number. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and open up Shalice. She paid us here. And you're actually going to see you were just paid this amount, right? So Shalice also thrown in some marketing dollars that we're going to run for her as well. But you'll see here, guys, $13,417, paid date November 7th, right? You'll see when I got this email, it says 1 hour ago when we started, we were recording the presentation then. And then let's go ahead and hop into the other email here. Okay, and it said we were paid $10,000, okay? So again, November 7th, right? You can see the time, right? 43 minutes ago, 4:45. So just wanted to show you all some proof for those who really care about that. Not a bad day, right? 1 or 2 sales as well for some of our members. So yeah, guys, so that being said, you've had a chance to connect with us, get to know us a little bit more. And ultimately, guys, it's up to you to be able to take action, right? No one will do it for you. And ultimately, this business model, it might be a good fit for you, it might not. The only way to find out is to find out. But guys, just remember that success loves speed. And if you kind of hang around right now and you just decide, I'm just too nervous or whatever the false belief that you might have going on right now, just know that time will pass by. That's the one variable we can't control. It's the one constant that's always going to be there. And if you stay on our email list or our text message list, you're going to continue to get updates. You're going to continue to get emails, and you're going to see success story after success story. And at some point, you're just going to have to ask yourself, why not me? If I just keep staying on the sideline, I'm going to see all these people cashing in, making money with the system. This is an evergreen market, guys. We can be doing this for years because there are so many people coming into this niche in this industry every single day. Okay, so that being said, guys, don't let it pass you by. Don't assume. At least have an open mind, engage with us, and at least lock in your bonus. So if you do decide to connect with us or at least get started, you can have that bonus. We'll honor that bonus for you. Your next step is to call in the Success Coach hotline and leave us a message. At this point, you've already had an opportunity to watch our entire webinar presentation, and you've just finished our frequently asked questions video. You've most likely even watched some of our testimonial videos from our successful members who decided to take action. And speaking of action, that's the only difference between where they're at and where you're currently at. All you have to do is take massive action and take a new path, because if you keep going down the same path you've been going down, you're going to keep getting the same results you've always gotten. So again, just look around this video, call in the Success Coach hotline. You have 48 hours to lock in your Fast Action Takers bonus. So call that number now, and we look forward to talking with you soon.